Botswana Trade Commission workshop addresses trade and IP concerns. Francistown struggles with aging infrastructure. And Trump cites Minnesota cases in speech on government fraud. This is Lesedi Television News. I am Thabang Mitsimabe. Welcome. The Botswana Trade Commission has urged businesses to safeguard their ideas and better understand trade policy instruments. This follows a stakeholder engagement workshop held in Francistown. Takuza Chigura with the details.
The Botswana Trade Commission hosted a one-day workshop focusing on trade policy tools such as tariffs, trade remedies, and import and export controls.
Given that today, different parastatals, questions may be raised relating to the mandate. This was going forward.
BOTC Chief Executive Officer Shelly Moncho encouraged businesses to enter into formal agreements to protect their ideas, saying service providers do not automatically safeguard clients' intellectual property.
Exporters and Manufacturers Association ke bona maloko a bema gone ha ba bantsiana jaanong ko mokgatlhong ra roma ha re emele di-company ke bona ba re roma ba ipuelela mme go ipuelela ga bone ba roma mokgatlho wa bone gore re kopa re buele le boteke sele se ga sa nna sentle re kopa re buele le semama re nna di agente tsa bone re emetse dikeletso tsa bone dilelo tsa bone le sengwe hela se eleng gore sa bama mme ra re helehela mo dikganyeng re tswella gape re dira re le bogakolodi ba ga goromente gantsinyana re nna mo dikomiting tse dintsi mo goromente go gakolola goromente gore manufacturing e dire botoka kana se ke se kgoreletsi mo manufacturing kana se pehelo se eleng gore sa ama go dira lekgwebo.
An official from the Companies and Intellectual Property Authority clarified that the authority protects the expression of ideas, not the ideas themselves. Some participants raised concerns about intellectual property theft and the influx of substandard products on the market. Meanwhile, the Botswana Exporters and Manufacturers Association assured businesses that it continues to engage stakeholders to address exporters' challenges. Reporting from Francistown, Takuza Chigura, Lesedi Television News.
The city of Francistown says aging infrastructure and recent heavy rains have worsened road conditions, leaving thousands of square meters damaged. City authorities are now seeking to accelerate repairs. Solofelo Mutei with more.
Francistown's road network has taken a knock following recent downpours, with an estimated 12,000 square meters of potholes recorded across the city.
Sustainable infrastructure is a critical catalyst for travel, investment and economic growth. However, the city of Francistown continues to grapple with aging and dilapidated infrastructure, particularly road networks that have exceeded their design lifespan. The recent heavy downpours experienced across the city have significantly worsened road conditions, resulting in widespread pothole formation, estimated at approximately 12,000 square meters. To adequately address this challenge, the council requires an estimated amount of 8,400,000. However, I wish to note that an amount of 10,848,673 Pula 23 Tebe has been allocated under the road levy fund to focus on pothole patching and related road maintenance activities within the city. Among others, reconstruction of Cellular Street in Dumela, asphalt overlay in Martin Luther King Jr. Road, and Pikwani Close in Phase 4 Industrial. procurement for the same is underway.
Deputy Mayor Uya Ponyeku says about 8.4 million pula is needed for repairs. However, the city has already allocated over 10.8 million pula from the Road Levy Fund for pothole patching and maintenance works, including upgrades along Martin Luther King Jr. Road and other key roads. Procurement processes are underway. An additional 22.3 million pula has been set aside for street light maintenance and development in areas such as Martin Luther King Road, Block 2 and Gerald Estate. So far, 135 post-top fittings and 190 LED units have been installed, improving illumination levels in the city center and Gerald Estate. Nyeku emphasized that improving infrastructure is critical for safe travel, attracting investment and driving economic growth. Reporting from Francistown, I am Solofelo Motei.
Close to 500 runners took part in Francistown's second edition of the Tole Trust Used Oil Awareness Run, promoting the recycling of used oil to protect the environment. Amagalan Tau was there.
The annual event, covering distances of 5, 10, 15 and 21 kilometers, concluded with a call from the Assistant Minister of Health, Lawrence Okedite, urging citizens to give oil a second life through recycling.
Rallies together a compelling theme, which says, give used oil a second life, recycle it. This is just more than a slogan. It is a clear and call to action. It reminds us that waste in the right hands becomes opportunity. It embodies the circular economy, a vision where resource endure, where nothing is squandered, and sustainability unites us as a nation. To give used oil a second life is to transform peril into promise. It safeguards our oil, safeguards our soil, our water, and most importantly, gives vitality to the health of our people.
Tole Trust, a non-profit making trust funded through levies on virgin oil imports and supported by corporate members and collectors, seek to reduce pollution and promote responsible oil disposal. Special elected Councillor Madeluka Tsepo warned that improper oil disposal poses serious risk to human health and biodiversity. Tole Trust Environmental Education Officer Ms. Amantle Mantu said attendance has grown significantly compared to last year, with 500 participants this edition, promising an even bigger event next year. The 2026 event was held under the theme Beat Pollution, Recycled Used Oil, continuing the organization's mission to safeguard the environment through education and action.
And in international news, U.S. President Donald Trump has wrapped up his State of the Union address, promising what he called a bigger and more prosperous future for the country.
During his address, President Donald Trump also took aim at fraud cases in Minnesota, singling out members of the state's Somali community.
But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse.
The president claimed members of Minnesota's Somali community had pillaged an estimated $19 billion from American taxpayers. He did not provide a source for that figure. Federal prosecutors have charged dozens of people in overlapping fraud investigations tied to COVID-era food aid, housing assistance, and autism services in Minnesota.
The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA.
Confirmed losses in those cases total well over $200 million so far. Prosecutors have suggested the total exposure could reach into the billions, though state officials say higher-end estimates are overstated. Nearly 100 defendants have been charged and about 66 have been convicted.
And in sport news, Moroccan football star and Paris Saint-Germain defender Achraf Hakimi is set to stand trial over allegations that he raped a young woman at his home in Paris suburb in February 2023.
The Nanterre Public Prosecutor's Office launched a preliminary investigation shortly after the 24-year-old woman reported the alleged incident to police. Hakimi has denied the accusations. In a post on X, the Moroccan national team captain criticized the decision to move forward with a trial, saying a rape allegation alone should not be enough to justify court proceedings. This is as unjust to the innocent as it is to the genuine victims. I calmly await this trial, which will allow the truth to come out publicly, he wrote. No trial date has been announced. Speaking ahead of PSG's Champions League playoff second leg match against Monaco on Wednesday, head coach Luis Enrique said the matter is in the hands of the justice system.
Let's take a look at the weather forecast provided by the Meteorological Services. And that marks the end of our news bulletin. I am Thabang Mitsimali.